Welcome back to Game Design. Today we're going to look at Project 7, Level Design. So let's build ourselves a level. So what we do is we click on our Unity product here, and it should bring up our Unity application here. So we're going to click on New. We're going to call the new Unity project, we'll just call it Level. Make sure it's 3D and click Create Project. So now your Unity project opens up, and what you need to do is you need to download some free assets. So we're going to go into the asset store on this tab right here. We're going to click on these three little dashes here. What we want is a 3D model, so click this little arrow down and click on Environments. We only want to look at the free only, so we'll click on that. So now we come down the slider, and what we're looking for is Medieval Town Exterior, so we're going to click on that. We're going to come on down and click Import. Now just click all the little accepts that they're going to come up. Yes, you're going to say yes, yes, yes. And when this pops up, just click Import. So you've done everything right. You should see a little folder down here called Medieval Town. So now I'm going to click back on Scene. So now I want to create a new terrain. So I'm going to click on the Game Object menu. Here's the Game Object menu. And I'm going to select 3D Object Terrain. Here's 3D. There's Terrain. So now I have terrain appear. So now I want to center it on screen. So I'm going to click F. Okay, I'm going to zoom in a little bit. So I'm just going to roll my scroll bar. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on directional light. I'm going to make sure my directional light is shining on my terrain here. So I click back on terrain. So now we've got everything ready. So now I'm going to click on Inspector. I'm going to click on the Inspector tab. Now one thing that you'll notice is on the Inspector tab, I have some terrain tools. Okay, so this first one with the plus on it, that one raises or lowers terrain. This is the first tool on your palette and the first one you're going to be using because it's going to let you paint hills and valleys very easily. The next one down with the plus on it, that is Paint Height. This tool lets you select a specific height, then paint on areas of the terrain to raise or lower them to that level. This tool is fantastic for creating plateaus, flat areas of ground. The next one over is Smooth Height. There's a little teardrop there, right? This tool smooths out areas of terrain. We're going to use this if things are looking too diagonal, too jagged. It's going to give a less stretched, a more natural look to your terrain surface. The next one over is Paint Terrain. It looks like a paintbrush, right? This tool lets you add textures to your 2D images to your terrain. You need this to give your terrain character and color variation. You can use images of grass, stone, gravel, sand, and intermingle them throughout the terrain to give the impression of a detailed geological environment. Now the next one over is Plant Trees. we don't have trees to plant, but you can always import them if you'd like them. What this allows you to do is to place trees by simply painting on the terrain. You must have a 3D model in your game assets first, however, and there are also a number of parameters you can tweak to create variations in placement, scale, and orientation of your trees. So you're going to use these tools to paint hills and valleys on our terrain. So we're going to monitor the results as you do. So first I'm going to click on the raise and lower terrain tool, and I'm going to drag the mouse a bunch of times over an area of my thing here. I'm just going to make some hills. Now I have all kinds of brushes I can choose. Here's one. So I can have all different kinds of hills here. I just click, or I can drag if I like. I can have a big bunch here, big one, right? Small smudgy ones. What do you like? You know, all kinds of different ones you can try. You know, try different ones, see what the effects are. You can all smooth them out later if you'd like. Now these are pretty huge hills. What if I want to lower that? I clicked on this one, but I can click on the shift and that'll lower that. See, that brings that down, right? I can smooth this out now. So click the smooth. Now I just drag the smooth over it and smooth everything out. Make it look a lot nicer. Go till you get the effect that you want. And when you finally come out to something that you need, what you want to do is you want to level your terrain. I got my terrain leveler here. I'm just going to create a space where I'm going to have my village. So if you adjust the opacity setting, it just regulates the strength of the effect of the brush stroke. A lower setting raises or something more slowly. A higher setting raises it more quickly. So you're satisfied with your paint tool. So now you have your plateau, and you're ready to be putting on some grass. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click my brush, and now I'm going to find my Edit Textures button. So I click my Edit Texture button and click Add Texture. So I'm going to click over here where it says Albedo Smoothness. I can click Select. So now what I want to select is the grassy rocks. So I click that and I click Add. And it puts grassy rocks all over my territory here. Okay, so let's zoom in. So there you go. So now I'm going to add some regular texture. As I click Edit Texture again, then I'm going to add a new texture. I'm going to add this time, I'm going to add the regular grass. So I click Add. I pick a paintbrush for it. Alright, we're all ready to go and put in our village. Here's our folder called Medieval Town. Open it up. Open up prefabs. And all kinds of buildings I can put up. So let me try a building out. So I clicked on a building, drug it there. So let me click F so I can zoom in on the building. Now there's all kinds of things that I can do on the building. I can duplicate it. So I can hold down my control key and I can hit D. So now I have building A number 1. I have another one. So how do I move it? So now I click W. So now I can move another part of the building there, right? So what if I want to turn a building around? How do I do that? Well, I click on the building and I click an E. Now that puts a spinning thing on it, right? So I can turn it around on one of the axes. And that will turn my building around. Okay, so you can do whatever you want. So let's go and add some more buildings here. Let's click add a building F. And let's put in here a barrel, a bucket, cart. Come on down. We can put in a crate. Okay, we can put in a fence. Okay, we can also put in here all kinds of things. There's rocks. There's other buildings. There's hay. There's grass. Rocks. All kinds of things. This is your landscape. You put in here what you want. Some logs here, right? There you go. Any other things we want to put out here? Just play around with your mouse. So you want to focus on any object, you just click on it and click F. You can move it with your arrows. Once again, you click E to rotate it. So now you want to save your scene file so don't lose any of your hard work. Click File and click Save Scene. And just give it a name. But once you saved it, the scene will be available in your project view as one of your game assets. And you can open it up anytime by double-clicking on the file. So now let's make our levels interactive. So in our menu, we're going to click on Assets. We're going to click on, let me move this over so you can see what's going on. Click on Assets. Click Import Package. Click Characters. And click Import. Okay, now that you've downloaded, you want to get out of the medieval town exteriors. Go back to Assets. Okay, so now you should see a file that says Standard Assets. Double click it. There's lots of things in here you can play with, honestly. But what we're going to do is we're going to go into Characters. We're going to go into First Person. We're going to go into Prefabs. So I'm going to pull up Rigid Body. So now when we click the play button at the top of the layout, if everything's been configured correctly, you can explore the level you built. So let's try that. Let's click this. And so now let's move around. So what am I doing? I'm using my arrow keys. I can use WSAD too, right? So I'm moving around my town that I've built. And once again, you can add more objects if you like. You can change whatever you like. It's your build, okay? Okay, I also can take my mouse and I can move around with my mouse if I like. So there you go. So once you're finished with exploring, click Escape and stop it, okay? That's all there is to it. Then you're done. So how about turning your assignment in? What can you do? Well, one thing you can do, maybe I can show off my project to my teacher, right? So what I can do is I can click on my Microsoft, and I want to find snipping tool. So my snipping tool is under my Windows accessories, so I come all the way down. So I click under Windows accessories. There's my snipping tool. Click New. I can just take a picture of my screen. I can click the Save button, give it a name. Save it where I can find it. Put it on my desktop maybe. I put my project. And now I can turn that into the unit assignment. And you're all done.